What's up, guys? Today I just wanted to do a in-depth setting video for you guys, going over all of my settings, over my keybinds or my controller binds, all that kind of stuff. I know a lot of people have been requesting it, so I'm going to give you my in-depth tutorial on why I use certain things and go over all these settings. So yeah, we're gonna get into that for you guys. Also, guys, I just wanted to let you guys know that these are just my settings. I highly recommend, and this goes with everybody, like other streamers too, make sure you use what's comfortable for yourself. You can use what I use and try to get used to it. It's not gonna like make you the player I am. That's on you. So definitely use what settings you're comfortable with. You can use mine and like base it off if you want, but yeah, using other players' sensitivity that's not what makes you a better player. So definitely use what's comfortable to you. If I have something that you can't use, maybe you could try to rework it around something you're used to. But yeah, it's like my biggest advice for settings and binds and all that kind of stuff. Make sure you guys are comfortable with what you're using. So for this first tab, this is very important. I want to make sure everyone's doing this because I know a lot of people that don't do this. Make sure you guys are playing on full screen. If you guys are playing on like windowed full screen or windowed, it is very bad. It makes your game like delayed. So like it gives you input lag. So 100% make sure you are playing on full screen no matter what. That's a need. Frame rate I have set to 240 FPS. So apparently this is a rumor. I don't even know if this is true, but if you use a normal PS4 controller, apparently you would get input lag if you were over 140. I got this scuff. Ghost gave me this scuff. It's basically a normal like DualShock controller, but it's made by Scuff, and yeah. So I got that just in case, because I don't want to deal with any of that stuff. Okay, guys, so now we're going on to the sensitivity settings. This is everyone's favorite. This is what everyone wants. I will give you my reasonings, but like I said earlier, make sure you guys are using what is comfortable to you. I change these all the time, and I do myself too. I look at other other good players, other good controller players, and maybe they'll be on a really high sensitivity, so I'll try to build mine up. Starting with the X and Y sensitivity, we have the X on 7, or I'm sorry, 0.7. So when Fortnite originally started, I was all the way down at like 0.5. That might be like the default, but yeah, I've gradually, my sense has went up a lot. I used to play on like 0.8, but once building sensitivity came out, I lowered it back down to 0.7 because you didn't really need it that high. So I personally recommend you have your X sensitivity like 0.65, between 0.65 and 0.8, somewhere around there. This is just mine is 0.7. I think it's a nice mid ground, but I don't really think it's necessary to have your X sensitivity all up. I think it messes with your aim. So try to keep it around like 6 to 8, I would recommend. Any of you that don't know, your X is your left and right, like looking, and your Y is your up and down. On to the controller targeting sensitivity and the controller scope sensitivity. This one's actually kind of important. And so just recently I had my targeting and my scope sensitivity up to like 5, like literally 5, like halfway. Anyways, so I had this up to like 5. It was like halfway, and I was looking at a lot of other people's, actually same with my scope. They were like around the same, and just like now they're around the same, but I lowered them. So I was looking at Lecce when he qualified on EU. He's a really good EU player. Yeah, I was looking at his sensitivities. His stuff was really low, and actually I think same with Isa's and Camos. They were like under 4. Basically, the controller targeting sensitivity, if you guys should know, but it's when you're aimed in, and it's how quickly you're like moving while you're aimed in. And I had it really high, and I feel like I was missing a lot of AR shots. So I think the lower you have it, the better your like long range AR, picking people out of the sky, and with aim assist it's really useful. So I would recommend maybe lowering it. Even my girlfriend, her settings were really high. When I played on her account, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. She had it like 0.6 or something crazy, but I would recommend trying to lower this, these two a little bit. Maybe the scope sensitivity is different because I'm not that good of a sniper. But yeah, I would just definitely maybe take other people's considerations, look at other people's settings, and you can base it off of that. But this is what I play on. Okay, guys, onto the controller building sensitivity and edit mode sensitivity. This is like the most important thing. This is what people love right here. My building sense is 1.65. I have messed around with this so much. I think 1.65 is like my mid ground. I don't every time I raise it, my builds are super inconsistent, and I just think it's better to have consistent, maybe a little bit slower builds than to have faster builds that you're gonna mess up on. My personal opinion. A lot of players play on 2.0 building sense, which is really good though. I see a lot of like I said, Lechi, if you guys know Neo, I think Camo, tons, Assault, I think. A lot of players play on 2.8 building sense. I know a lot of you probably already do. Just make sure you guys, like I said, use what's comfortable. I don't know if a lot of people that are already on 2.0 would lower it. This is just like a nice mid. You have to work up to this, by the way. So I started probably a month or two ago, maybe like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I was on like 1.5, and every day, just move it up very slowly every day if you want to work on your building sensitivity to be higher. For competitive, you definitely need it more on the higher end to do turtling and do like faster 90s and stuff like that. So I would definitely recommend it being somewhat higher. Not a lot of people do this, but I actually found out about this. Someone was telling me, and I think Mongrel did it. This is the standard color blind. It's off, and if you actually change it to Deterrenopolis, it's apparently it helps you see into the storm. So like, if you're looking into the storm, like if you're safe and you're looking outwards where people are taking damage, apparently you can see through it easier. Personally, I don't know when I first changed it. I just kind of did it because a lot of people, competitive people, were doing it. I think Savage did it too. So you could turn this up to 4 or 5. It doesn't really. You have anonymous mode. This stuff doesn't really matter. I have anonymous mode and hide other players' names on because I stream, obviously. HUD scale 0.8. I would recommend turning this down. The standard, I think it starts at 1.0. You have toggle sprint off. Don't use that. Sprint by default. This one's important. Doesn't do anything. So I recommend that being on. Hold the swap pickup. Don't really know what that is. Have it off. I think that's a newer thing. Oh, that's that. Okay, yeah. I don't use this. This is garbage. Well, it's not garbage. Yeah. You guys can use it if you want. Toggle targeting off. Builder Pro, build immediately. If you're using Builder Pro, this is a must. You need it. I'm sure all of you guys already have it on, so just make sure you have that on. Controller edit hold time. Basically, in your binds, you can make it so your edits are instant. So right as you tap the edit button, it'll automatically pull the edit up. And you have to do that by having your building button and your editing button as separate buttons, okay? Because when the standard is like circle, and that's to pull out your builds and to edit. So this is only if you have them as the same, which I do not recommend at all, and I will go into that later. Okay, boys, we're getting into the good stuff here. We got the binds, boy. Let's go, baby. Okay, I play on custom. I use the Builder Pro like scheme. So basically, if you click custom, or if you click reset, it'll ask you like what you want your stuff as. So Builder Pro, and I just have a couple things custom. Like I said, I have sprint by default on. So just pushing up my left stick right here to run, that'll automatically make me sprint, and then clicking in my left analog stick will actually pull out my pickaxe. It's a lot quicker to pull out my pickaxe. I use it very often the way my aggressive play style is taking walls, so that's really important. We have switch mode, which is the building bind. If you guys don't know, I play claw. I'll put a clip of that in here for you real quick. Alright guys, now that you saw that clip, so that'll help you understand how I play claw a little bit. As you can see, I use triangle to pull out my builds, and I use circle to edit. So that's where I was saying, when they're different binds, you get instant edits. Your edit pops up right away. People use sprint by default. They will use this as edit. A lot of people do that. I think that's very easy. If you can't play claw, it's probably the best way to do it. Onto the building controls. So I switch my traps and my crouch, basically. This is not crouch anymore. This is traps. So basically, when you box trap, if you box somebody up, you put a pyramid on them, you put walls around them. I just spam my right trigger. I just look around and just click the right trigger in, and it will place traps all over the place. It's super convenient because I always have my right thumb on the right analog stick, so I just click it and it places traps. Now onto the edit controls. Again, nothing too crazy. So I have my reset to L1. That basically, the reset is where, say you edit something and then you edit like a door, or you don't fully edit but you select the door. Just clicking L1 will reset it completely and make a fresh like wall. On to the dead zone. This is actually really important. I know a lot of people play with some of these low, but I have a few recommendations and a little bit of tips for this. So I play with my left dead zone a lot higher. I had it at 0.1, and I know people that play with it all the way down, and that's not, I don't think it's good. At 0.1, I was getting some issues where if I was looting a chest, if you touch the left stick just too gently, it will move you and it will stop your process of looting. I raised it so that if I'm looting something and if I touch my analog stick, it doesn't mess with it. Because that was really an issue for me. It was stopping me from looting quickly, and like, yeah, it was just really bad. For the aiming, for the right analog stick, my dead zone's really low, gradually gone down. Same thing as I went over with the building and editing sensitivities earlier. Yeah, I recommend you guys try to keep your dead zones around like what I have. You can do the right one maybe up a little bit more because I've gotten used to this for a little bit. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching the in-depth setting video today. Like I said, #1 tip is make sure you're comfortable with whatever settings you're using, okay? Don't copy. I mean, you can, like I said, you can base stuff, you can copy, you can base off of other streamers and pro players, but please use what you guys are comfortable with, alright? I promise it makes the most difference, because if you try to get used to something you don't like, it's not going to make you better, okay? Thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys drop a sub, make sure you guys like, comment, let me know if you guys what your guys like edit bind is, because I'm actually curious. I've been thinking about maybe changing it. Just let me know some of the stuff that you guys use that you don't think other people use, because I'm actually interested. I'm gonna look through the comments and I'm gonna reply to some of you guys. So yeah, really appreciate you guys. Trying to get to 1 million. All right, we're at like 550K, somewhere around there, but we want to get to a milli soon. We can do it, all right? We got this, baby. Love you guys. See ya.